evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, June 30th, 2020. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, we'll let you know to be on the lookout for a local man accused of murder. Bonnaroo has been canceled for 2020, and there's a meeting coming up this week for people receiving mental health treatment and those who help take care of them. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Hello, I'm Ray Noes. This is a critical time in Tullahoma. On August the 6th, voters will have an opportunity to elect a new mayor, one who can provide proven, experienced leadership, one who knows how to get things done and keep Tullahoma moving. I recognize the value of Tullahoma's excellent school system. Our system is recognized as one of the best in the state, and I'll ensure that our schools continue at that level. I will not vote to raise property taxes in order to have a balanced budget until all other options have been exhausted. I'll work closely with our city staff to ensure that my fiscally conservative values are incorporated. Now, I've served on all city boards involved in economic development. I see that as a way that we can broaden our tax base and avoid a property tax rate increase. Some developers have had issues with our planning and codes department. I'll commit to these improvements. There'll be consistency in the instructions from planning and codes without changes from day to day. And there'll be predictable timelines for providing delivery dates for plan reviews, permits, and inspections, timelines that will be met reliably. Now, while we can't do much about the traffic on 41A and 55, we can improve our local streets and sidewalks, and this I commit to do. So I ask for your vote for proven, experienced leadership.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Franklin County Sheriff's Office is attempting to locate Tullahoma resident Brent Moon, a person of interest in a homicide that occurred at 1356 Pleasant Grove Road, Estill Springs, on Saturday at about 5 p.m. Sheriff's Office reports State Moon appeared at the residence and asked to speak to the victim, James Eric Hanger. Shortly after, Moon is suspected of entering the residence, and after a short time, two unidentified black males also entered, wearing all black clothing and black masks. Witnesses' accounts state that one of the subjects held a gun and started to demand money, reports said, adding that an argument ensued. Witnesses also stated a struggle began for control of the weapon and the man holding it fired a round, striking Hanger, reports said. All three suspects then fled the area, according to the report. When deputies and medical personnel arrived at the scene, they determined Hanger did not survive the injuries, reports said. The Sheriff's Office in Coffee and Franklin County is attempting to locate Moon, who now has an active warrant for first-degree murder and should not be approached by civilians. Anyone having contact with Moon is asked to immediately contact law enforcement authorities. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office is also asking anyone having any information relating to the case to contact Sheriff's Office Lieutenant George Dyer at 931-308-9420 or Franklin County Communications at 931-967-2331. And we'll be right back with more News Leader after this.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. Representatives of the Coffee County branch of NAMI, the National Association of Mental Health, recently spoke with Peggy Burton about increased need for help during COVID-19.
NAMI Coffee and Franklin County meets in Manchester at the First Presbyterian Church. It's 1101 Jackson Street. It's right by Food Lion. You turn at the light by Food Lion. We meet the first Thursday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30.
And that's the church on the right, is it?
It's on the left. If you
On the
turn,
left.
it's
Oh,
on the
that's
left.
right.
It's on the
Okay.
left, yeah.
Behind the big church.
And we meet in the fellowship hall, and we social distance 6 feet.
And you meet at what time?
6:30.
6:30
until
about-
8:30.
until
From 6:30
8:30.
to 8:30.
And I've been there, and it's a wonderful organization, and I appreciate everything they do. The thing that I'm impressed with mostly, it's not just people with mental health conditions, but it's caretakers.
Yes,
we
we
have
have two
people
different-
that love them. Yeah.
Right. We have two
Right.
different classes. One is for those who are experiencing mental health conditions, and they meet in a different area.
They're called bridges.
It's called Bridges,
Bridges.
and it's a big, long, I don't remember what Bridges even stands for, but we have a young lady that facilitates that class, and then while the caretakers and family members meet in a separate area.
Yeah.
So if you have someone who has a mental illness, you can both go. And you can both vent about each other
At the same
separately.
time,
Yes,
separately.
yes. Before we all met together, and it was difficult for the
Yeah.
caretaker to
say what was
say
really
what
on their
was
mind.
really
To be
on their-
honest.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
To my knowledge, Alcoholics Anonymous is separated like that. The alcoholics are in
Right.
one room, and the
Family members,
caretakers and
well, NAMI was kind of when they were first formed. It's kind of based on the 12 steps. Kind of, I mean, we follow the same type.
and it's good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good, and I think it gives people a guideline to go by when you're stressed or whatever.
Yes,
So y'all give me a few techniques and a few things that are talked about in your part of it. You all are the caretakers, right?
Right. Self-care is the biggest thing.
Care.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Because if you don't care for yourself, you can't care for someone else.
And you have to be careful, I would assume, not to let them pull you down.
Sure.
Which is going to happen when
Sure.
you love somebody.
Unfortunately, when you have somebody in a bad place, you're usually in a bad place. It pulls you down, whether you want it to or not. It just
Right.
does because you love them. But I use the analogy of a pitcher and a glass. Your loved one is the glass, and you keep their glass full, trying to fill them up. If you're not keeping your pitcher full by doing
By yours.
self-care, your pitcher's going to be empty, and you have nothing to give them. When you go to fill their pitcher, you have nothing.
You have nothing left.
Right. So you have to do things for yourself. Get a pedicure, read a book, walk in the park.
Yeah,
Yes.
go
Get on the lake.
Yes. Get on the lake. Do something for yourself.
Well, the bottom line, for both sides of the issue, exercise is always
Yes.
important.
Unfortunately, when a person is experiencing mental illness issues, sometimes they become obsessed with the news. My daughter
Right.
is having a hard time because she's obsessed with it, and she shares all this bad stuff.
And so that's all you hear,
Yes,
and,
and so she just bought a book on how to be more positive.
Oh, good.
And she's excited about it.
About how many people do you find coming to your meetings?
Well, before the pandemic, we would have 20 to 25. Last month we had 11.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's
because
pretty good,
you know,
yes.
They've been off for such a long time.
And you know, we tell people if you'd like to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you feel more comfortable, we're not sharing refreshments. We don't have.
Yeah, you're not handling
not
stuff
handling
together.
stuff
Yeah.
together. We sit 6 feet apart. We keep all the tables separated.
We used to have
and
everybody sign in. Now she just
I
signs
just
them
sign
in.
them in.
You know,
If we have
and
someone
so-
new, they give me their information and I fill it in on the sign-in sheet.
I would encourage anybody that knows anyone or having some issues with mental health would contact the group, and there's all you write down, and you can give them the date, the time and date of the next meeting. Or the date.
It's the first Thursday in July at First Presbyterian Church, 1101 Jackson in Manchester, from 6:30 to 8:30.
Once again, that meeting will be held Thursday, July the 2nd at the First Presbyterian Church of Manchester from 6:30 to 8:30. And we'll be right back with more News Leader after these messages.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stamina Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stan McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. Coffee County tax coffers will take a hit of approximately $1 million as a result of the canceled 2020 Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. Festival organizers pay state and local taxes and permits, bringing the local economy millions of dollars in the economic activity and sales taxes to the county's general fund. Mariana Edinger, Coffee County Director of Accounts and Budgets, said, quote, depending on the ticket sales, Bonnaroo can generate sales tax revenue in the amount of $800,000 to $1 million annually. I knew when COVID-19 was declared a pandemic that the 2021 budget would need to be prepared as lean as possible, and Bonnaroo sales tax revenue should not be included. Estimating sales tax is always tricky at best, and you have to look at the county-wide sales tax as a whole and not just one event, end quote. Edinger said Coffee County is prepared to adjust its annual budget to handle the situation. Last year, in addition to Bonnaroo, the farm also welcomed music fans to the Exit 111 Festival, which was held in October. Organizers have since announced Exit 111 would not return. Yet even that smaller event generated approximately $180,000 in sales tax revenue, according to Edinger. Lisa Myers, finance director for Coffee County Schools, said, quote, the school system benefits greatly from the sales tax generated from Bonnaroo. However, we were conservative when estimating the sales tax revenue that we expect to receive in 2020-2021. Therefore, we will still be hopeful that we will meet our budget projections, end quote. While Bonnaroo was originally postponed for September of this year, the organizers decided they couldn't guarantee the safety of guests, artists, or crew, and so it was pushed to 2021. Ticket holders who want a refund can do so on the Bonnaroo website during the month of July. After that, the tickets will be rolled over to the 2021 date. While we all wish Bonnaroo was going to be around, it is better to be safe than sorry. And to help hold you over, here's a clip from Bonnaroo 2016 with Pearl Jam playing Corduroy. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
Welcome back. And while Bonnaroo has been pushed back to June of 2021, South Jackson Goes Country rehearsals are in full swing. Here Peggy Burton speaks with one of the year's featured performers, Randy Fincham.
Where are you actually living right now?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say I got dual citizenship of Nashville and Coffee County.
Okay.
I've lived in, half my life in one place, half my life in another place. So, born in Nashville, raised in Coffee County, graduated Central High School, went back to Nashville. Just back.
So back and forth.
Back and forth. It's an hour away, and so I do a lot in both cities.
Well, there's a million things we could talk about because you're very talented, and I want to know when you started songwriting.
Not till, I'm not one of those child prodigies that started at 5. I wish I would have, but I actually, 17 years old. And that's when I finally picked up a guitar, because that's when I realized that I was not going to be a professional baseball player.
Oh, okay.
And that I was going to be 5'9" forever, and then if I wanted to
you weren't getting any taller.
I wasn't getting any taller. I stopped growing. I wasn't going to be into sports, so I got into music, and the rest is history.
I think you did good. Do you teach yourself to play, or did you have lessons?
I took lessons for a little while. Then I had the How to Play Electric Guitar tape. I remember it where I had the tape and the accompanying book, and learned the power chords.
Right.
But after that was just picking it up from people over the years.
It's amazing what you can do when you have a good ear. I think that helps.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can stay in tune. But when did you write your first song?
17. Yeah.
Oh, you actually wrote a song when you picked up the guitar almost.
Well, yeah, it was maybe about a year after that, maybe around closer to 18. It was about my dog. So if at that age, you love girls and you love your dog. So
you love your dog.
Yeah, so it was about
and
my dog.
When you lose your girl and your dog dies, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and you got the country song that you can write right there.
I know it. That's a country song right there.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to make sure we have time for you to do a couple of songs. So what would you like to do first?
Well, you know what? Being from Coffee County and our 100-year history here, and at least that's what the legal jail records go back 100 years. That verifies that Fincham's have been around. I'm only half joking there. But I'm going to do a song about my family, and it's about my grandma. My grandma's she's buried not far from here down in Tullahoma. And when I was about 10 years old, Mom and Dad dropped me off to stay with Grandma. And as soon as they walk out the door, Grandma reaches under the couch and pulls out the biggest dang bottle of whiskey I'd ever seen. Took a big swig. This is my sweet little grandma. I didn't think she did that. I held on to that image for years until I got with Miss Cynthia Limbaugh Torres, and Cynthia wrote in Lonesome Dove for Garth Brooks. So I ran this idea by her, and she started singing this hook to this song. So we wrote this one. It's about Grandma. She was a hard-working mama on my daddy's side, left by the war with her own little tribe. My daddy was the third oldest in line, with 6 kids. She didn't have time to cry. She had calloused hands and a tender heart, worked in a factory from dawn to dark. When you're 3 to a bed in a trailer park, small town gossip can be so harsh. I was was 10 the first time I found that bottle. Grandma been practicing the Lynchburg gospel. They say she raised her kids on her own, but Grandma had a boyfriend all along. Jack Daniels lived there in that home. Grandma and Jack raised those kids. Now I understand why she did what she did. Underneath the sofa, that's where it was hid. Grandma and Jack raised those kids. She always put her babies before the booze, just a little liquid courage to see her through. Oh, how I love to smell her come into the room, 'cause old number 7 was her perfume. I was 10 the first time I found that bottle. Grandma been practicing the Lynchburg gospel. They say she raised her kids on her own, but Grandma had a boyfriend all along. Jack Daniels lived there in that home. Grandma and Jack raised those kids. Now I understand why she did what she did. Underneath the sofa, that's where it was hid. Grandma and Jack raised those kids. Grandma, thank you for being tough. God knows it was hard, but you did it all with love. Grandma and Jack raised those kids. Now I understand why she did what she did. Underneath the sofa, that's where it was hid. Grandma and Jack raised those kids. Yeah, they raised those kids. What a job they did when they raised those kids. I guess this makes Jack Daniels my grandpa, right? Yeah. Grandma and Jack raised those kids.
Love it.
Thank you.
That was fabulous.
And don't forget to tune in to this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include Greg Gressel from South Jackson Civic Center with news about improvements coming to the center. Tiffany Clutter from the Manchester Parks and Rec Center has a big announcement about their opening up to all patrons, and both John and Peggy will bring on some musicians. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 2012 at 103 degrees. The record low was in 1985 at 47 degrees. The average high on this day is 87, and the average low is 66. Rain for tonight's weather with a low of 68. Thunderstorms for Wednesday with a high of 80 and a low of 67, and partly cloudy on Thursday with a high of 87 and a low of 66. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evening at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.